Lovely. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, Africa, and warm welcome to the analysis program right on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. With me, Innocent Piri. Of course, we are right here discussing a lot of issues that, of course, happened during the course of the week. And if you were out of the country, Zambia, welcome back home and welcome to KBN TV, because we are here to update you in terms of some of the stories that you might have missed out as the week, of course, begins. Now, let's start the program. But for starters, allow me to unveil the team that I have in the studio as usual. I've got the speech analyst who is always next to me in the studio, the Elibet. I call him the Elibet because every time we call for this program, he's the first person to arrive into the studio. Welcome, speech analyst, and good evening to you.
Good evening, IP, and good evening to our dear viewers. Thank you very much for for those nice introductory words. I'm humbled, and it's a blessed week and Sunday to our dear viewers who join us. And I need to thank God for the gift of life that we have to come here every Sunday and digest national issues.
Fantastic. Later on, we'll be joined by Ambassador Anthony Mukwita as the program, of course, begins. But allow me to unveil this special man, special gentleman on your screens. He comes in a different attire this evening. I don't know. I mean, I was with him on Saturday. I was with him on Friday, but on Sunday, I think we're not together. No, on Saturday we're not together. Yeah, so I don't know if he had gone to Ghana, I'm not sure, but he comes in with a fugu attire, which sparked debate in Zambian social media at the time when John Mahama was in the country. But here is John Mahama Jr., perhaps. His name is Pastor Kennedy Mambwe. PK, welcome and good evening to you.
Good evening, IP, and good evening to our esteemed dear viewers. Yes, I'm donning a fugu from the lovely sister country of Ghana. We are importing, traditional and culture, as it were, from that wonderful nation. I think there is some good relationship between Zambia
and Ghana,
and Ghana, our shared history. Yeah. But you must also know that the Ghanaians were here recently.
Correct.
And they came to exhibit this attire.
Yes.
Yeah, but this particular one, I was gifted by a colleague of mine.
Okay.
Wow. He could be watching us from Ghana. His name is George Sapong. He's the executive director of the Ghanaian Media Commission.
I see.
So when we were hosting the African Media Councils, I didn't expect it. I saw him walking up to me with a parcel and gave it to me. He said, with love from Ghana.
Wow.
I said, oh, I'm grateful. And I told him, my brother, to show appreciation, I'm going to wear it.
I'm going to wear it live on Sunday on air.
Live on air. So,
right.
George, thank you. I'm wearing the Ghanaian fugu.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into the conversation, gentlemen. This evening, there's a lot on our menu that has to be looked at. Of course, talking about politics. Remember, they say politics defines everything. If you stand on the terraces away from political issues, then you are standing away from governance, because even the food we eat sometimes can be political in our homes. Your wife will tell you, I want to cook this, and the husband says, no, I did want to eat this. That's politics always. That's on a lighter note now. But let's get into the main conversation. We'll look at what happened last week. We start with the arrest of Tonse Alliance president Honorable Brian Mundubile. Was arrested by the Zambia police. Of course, the interrogation started from the airport, and later on, there were a lot of stories that emerged along the way as to why he was being interrogated. But surprise, surprise, the Zambia police decided to change the charge and gave him that of a cyber crime offense. We begin from there, gentlemen. But for now, let's just see a bit of some highlights coming from Brian Mundubile and up to the time when he was released. what was the message from BM8, as it were.
One Zambia! I will start by acknowledging the presence of Tonse Alliance members led by the Tonse Vice President, State Council Chifumbanda.
The megaphone is hiding his face. The megaphone is hiding, so you can...
Okay. Members of Tonse Alliance, Bonse Mkwai, na Mitasha, Natasha, ifilongani no fiance, imisepela, vana mayo, ukubikila pofe na mutinta pamakasa, na Mitasha. Ifwe Mutonse Alliance nama memba la bonse twalima ukubombele chalo echo tulelwisha nyanacho buchushi wenu nensala yapona muno chalo ififile chitika fionse fintu efe twapo kuishiba ba president Hakainde Hichilema naba nabo balandile abachitamu aba opposition muno mu Zambia. Mwe misepela na bana mayo One Zambia! One Zambia! One nation. Mwe misepela na bana mayo mwali machipipia ba Women's Day na pa Youth Day. Elo Hakainde Hichilema sakamuka ukwisa sanga kancha likwata opposition. Hakainde Hichilema asa ishiwa kuti opposition ya kwete yabe na Zambia ukupitila muri Tonse Alliance. Ilindela ndana imwe twalipoka kasebo eche chalie babantu bakwe wa Zambia. Katufane bane katufane. Don't give a politician a microphone and then so just don't give him the microphone. At night, I want to so kanshibane katwakokola sana iyo lero ndipo kulandechi omulandu wa kuti President Hakainde Hichilema nomba kwato mwenso aishiba ukuti na kwata opposition aishiba ukuti Tonse Alliance ileisa na imi abantu bonse okuti sangeni fyakali konse akakubepeshe ntungulushi shamu Tonse bakuti ngashikaka. Lelo message nkwatile checha Hakainde Hichilema ile nsikwete mwenso boy ile nsikwete mwenso ile boy nsikwete mwenso.
Right, thank you so much. That's Honorable Brian Mundubile, the Tonse Alliance president, who was arrested by the Zambia police at the Twin Palm Police in that regards. I will start with the Fugu man, the Fugu exhibitor in PK. PK, let's begin from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think last week was very eventful.
Thursday night.
Thursday night was eventful and highly politically charged. To learn that Tonse Alliance presidential candidate, Honorable Brian Mundubile, was due to fly out of the country with some of his closest allies, only to be stopped at the KK International Airport. At that point, they couldn't tell him why he could not fly out. We understand that he was detained in the VIP lounge for quite a number of hours, I think stretching up to maybe 4 hours. And he was subjected to some interrogations. And no one was told what exactly the interrogation was all about. The police moved him from the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport to the Ibex police station on Twin Palm Road, and it was there that a number of cadres, supporters, sympathizers, lawyers began to gather to offer solidarity and support. As at 11 p.m., he still had not been charged anything. Much later, we heard from some of his collaborators, some of his supporters, some of his peers and colleagues and lawyers, why he was detained and the interrogations that followed. We got some intel that he was interrogated about certain people he had been in touch with, allegedly. Some of the phone calls he has had to engage in with certain individuals, and they wanted to find out from him their relationship that he might have had with those, individuals. But some of these individuals are public figures.
Correct.
They are traditional leaders like Mwata Kazembe. In fact, Honorable Mundubile, one of his closest aides, is a fellow member of parliament in the name of Honorable Kapampi, Kawaso. He's a member of parliament for Kawambwa. And that is the terrain for Mwata. So you can't associate with the son of a Mwata and not know the Mwata. So there were all those names that were flying around. Council George Chisanga spoke to the media about them. Honorable Binwe Ompundu spoke to the media about those names that were being mentioned in the interrogation. But as you said, interestingly, in the morning of Friday, we saw a new charge that was slapped on him by the investigative agencies, and that was to do with cyber crimes connected to what they call a Munyaule page. Now, this has raised a lot of questions, because that is a matter for which they had warned him and cautioned him about. In between the warning and caution, he had traveled out of the country peacefully, and he was never stopped. So why did the police wait until when he wanted to travel out for them to come and resurrect a charge of, is it 2023, 2024?
Correct.
2 years later.
And treat it as an emergency.
And treat it as an emergency, that he cannot travel. But you know his residence, you know that he goes to parliament. Why did you have to wait until he's about to fly out to stop him, and only to resurrect the charge of a long time?
No call out was
No call out was issued. You know. So surprisingly, you'll find that certain blogs begin to blow this out of the context within which it was reported. But you see, when you are not part of the story, you do not know the source of the information. So to begin to insinuate things, you can actually land yourself in trouble. So for us as a media house, we stand by the story that we published on the page.
Correct.
We believe in the credibility of the sources of that, piece of information, and we would like to leave it at that, because we will now rely on the fresh charge that has been slapped.
Correct.
On Honorable Brian Mundubile, and wait for the due process to take
its course.
Its course,
and
yes.
Also, just to add on to what PK you have said, remember that whatever we might have shared, we were on site, so people should understand that we do investigate stories before we publish them. So we are not a Kantemba. We are a TV station and with a reputable, brand out there. So always trust on us. We shall give you nothing but the truth, and we shall always stand by what we give you. But of course, like Pika has mentioned, what is at hand right now is that the Zambia police, they charged Brian Mundubile with a cyber crime act which he purportedly committed. Let's hear from Comrade Mike Sichula, the arrest of Brian Mundubile and also his release.
Well, quite interesting turn of events because I did not expect the police to conduct themselves in such a manner. However, before I go any further, I want to give a scenario to say why the police needs to develop what I'm calling a corporate public relations department that can deal with certain high-profile cases in order to maintain a certain image of our country. Because remember, we are coming from a situation where at some point the police, they raided the residency of President Hakainde Hichilema while he was in opposition. And we all know the conduct of the police when they went to that residence. There was the breaking of glasses, household furniture. You get the point. Huh? Back, President Hakainde Hichilema wins, gets into office. What happens? We also saw the police go to the residence of former President Edgar Lungu with grinders. You see, huh? Then we also had the situation of the police blocking President Edgar Lungu of traveling out of this country. Then in the same vein, when President Hakainde Hichilema was in opposition, what did we see in Chipata? President Hakainde Hichilema was blocked to access Chipata airport. Again, the same police, what did they do? They went to the Liberty House belonging to opposition leader Sean Tembo, and they were breaking the burglar bars and so on and so forth. So to me, when you look at these high-profile cases, I understand, yes, before the law, we are all equal. Whether you are Upper Mwamba or the Wapans, we are all equal before the law. But there are certain cases that are of high profile in nature, because these are politicians who hold, for instance, is a member of parliament. We must treat someone with a certain level of respect. So to me, I think the police, away from the public relations department that they have, we must create a certain department that will be dealing with high-profile cases. IP here is talking about PK. He's talking about Brian Mundubile. Is he a flight risk? He's not a flight risk. He's someone who, if the police want to talk to him, they can easily reach him by parliament. Then if they cannot reach him by parliament, they can reach him by his spokesperson. You do it from that level, so that if it fails, all these channels fail, this is when now you can go to airport. After maybe you have gotten your intel to say you'll be traveling out of the country, you can go to the airport and
act from there.
But again, when you're acting from there, you need to act with a certain level of responsibility to say we need to manage the image of this country. Not long ago, IP, you remember, the president was launching what we are calling the Brand Zambia project. This is a project that wants to create a good image of Zambia. Now imagine foreign media houses or foreigners who might have been passing through KK International Airport, coming and going, they see a lot of people, like a commotion kind of a thing. I think it doesn't create a good image of our country. So to me, I think the police need to work in such a direction, because it is going to help them in as much as they want to effect an arrest of someone, but the image of this country should be held in high esteem, unlike the current state of affairs. Are you telling me, IP and our viewers out there, was there no better way of how this matter could have been handled? Definitely, there was a better way of handling this matter. Having said that, I move on to another point. You know, did the Zambian government or the UPND wanted did maybe my viewers, maybe I'm beginning to think maybe it was a plan by the UPND administration to check if the Tonse alliance and the Pamozi alliance, they can come together. Because remember what we saw afterwards? We saw Honorable Given Luminda and many others converge at Twin Palm Police Station to offer solidarity. And there were images flying all over showing that actually these people they can politic, they can argue, but when it matters most in terms of showing solidarity to one another, they can easily come. And you can also see that there was a lot of mobilization within a shortest possible time, and people, even if it was raining, people managed to stay at Twin Palm Police Station the whole night. So what message does it send? It sends the message to the UPND to say, in as much as you are going to push the opposition in a certain corner, the opposition are going to mobilize themselves, and they are going to come to a place where they see their friend is being victimized, if they call it that way, and offer solidarity. But in the same vein again, I want to commend the police, because the people that went to Twin Palm Police Station, they were never pushed around here and there. But I also know that President Harikarawa was blocked from seeing Brian Mundubile. But again, there's just that respect that was accorded to people that had gone to offer solidarity to Brian Mundubile. There was no that commotion of people flying, throwing of tear gas in terms of dispersing people. That was respected. So I want to commend the police for that. But the conduct that they did at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, that one I cannot commend them, because they could have done a better job.
Okay, so quickly before, as soon as Ambassador is preparing to join us, allow me to just play one clip in line with the reaction after which Honorable Brian Mundubile, of course, spoke about it together with Honorable Luwinda right after Brian Mundubile was released. So let's have this clip.
Yes. Honorable Mundubile, are you scared now? Are you going to hold back?
We are more resolved to fight for the people of Zambia. This fight is not about Brian Mundubile, it's not about Given Luwinda. We are fighting the suffering of the Zambian people. Exactly. The political persecution, the violation of our rights is what we are going to stand to fight. So the fight is on. We have emerged even stronger. We have emerged even more united.
How do you interpret Given Luwinda coming to offer you solidarity? How do you interpret it? Is this a sign of a new beginning that now we are going to work together as a united force?
Like what you know, this is my big brother. If he didn't come, I was going to be surprised.
Mr. Luwinda, President Luwinda, what's your word of advice to Honorable Brian Mundubile as he walks on this tough road?
I said to him, welcome to the club. Twin Palm Police Station, Woodlands Police Station, Chilenje Police Station. That everybody else must go the same route. And we are ready. I have said time and again to all opposition leaders that you must always wear bombasa, you must always have boots,
You seem to be in different political parts. Would this experience be a cause where you could probably come together as an opposition?
We have said time and again that time will vindicate us. Yes. Wow. And the Lord in heaven is the one who's watching over the people. Amen. Amen. Is that the opposition is forming government this year. And I've said before that one political party may form government, but the opposition together will form government.
With
one opposition may, but the opposition together will form government.
we only have 100.
Destroying opposition unity. We are here showing solidarity. And like Brian said, I came here not because he's president of Tonse.
Let's go in the car before the
To the reactions, gentlemen. Of course, Mike Sichula, you mentioned about President Hichilema was blocked from accessing the premises to see Honorable Brian Mundubile. Very sad note, and those are what I could say bad manners on the Zambia police side. We can do better next time. There's no harm in allowing people to visit, a person who is incarcerated. So I think next time let's do better. But also we hear Honorable Brian Mundubile, of course, coming out while vibrating, while holding hands together with Mr. Given Lubinda in that regards. Pike, we were on site when this incident was happening on Thursday night, and what was quite unique, maybe for the sake of the viewers to understand, is that the Zambia police really took time for them to decide. The whole of Thursday evening, the Zambia police could not decide what charge to give to Brian Mundubile until the following day. Now, if it was a matter which had already been, which was already pending, he was warned and cautioned. The question is, why did they delay? Why taking so much time for them to charge him? And why allow him to go even sleep in the police cells? I think let's be blunt on these issues, in those lines.
You're right, IP. I mean, it was a very high political stake story that you and I, plus many other journalists from different media houses, braved the night and found ourselves on location. But you see, as a journalist, when you're observing, you're not just observing the people who are there. You're observing what is not being said.
How's the mood?
The mood and what the...
How peaceful the environment is.
And what the mood, what kind of a story the mood is telling.
Yeah.
For instance, there was, at the time that we arrived on location in the night, there were very few police officers.
Correct.
And most of them had retreated into some offices, leaving the accused alone in a room, surrounded by his supporters, his sympathizers, his colleagues from parliament, lawyers, and I saw Ambassador Anton Mukwita there much later as well. So one thing that was very clear, the police left the accused unattended for a prolonged period of time, which is why they cannot even ask why certain elements of the interrogation found its way into the public domain.
Correct.
Because the police were never there to protect the accused. They left him unattended for a much longer period of time. But later on, when the night was becoming heavy towards 11 p.m., you find that there was a swelling of crowds of supporters outside of the perimeter fence of the police. And they started chanting, whatever they were chanting. Sometimes they would say, we want peace. Sometimes they would chant other things that we may not mention here. But when the crowds was swelling, you saw there was reinforcement of police officers. A lot of police officers came. But one of the things that you notice, they were not in a panic mode. They were not quick to disperse anyone. They were very professional.
They were quite accommodative.
They were accommodative. They were professional. You can clearly see that they are working under instruction to be there. But they there was a sense, there was a feeling that they didn't know what to do with Honorable Brian Mundubile at that particular time. So it dragged on into the night until perhaps past midnight. That's when most people were asked to leave. Others still didn't leave, and they decided that he will not be released. He will be kept overnight. Okay? And so he was kept overnight, still without a formal charge. The charge was only to be read out in the morning. So it was not really surprising that the police behaved in a professional manner, and you cannot fault them.
Correct.
You know, you cannot fault the police. They did what is expected of them in that instance. You know, they are human beings.
Correct.
They also know on the other side what needs to be done and perhaps what needs not to be done, especially as you move towards an election.
Right.
You don't want the police that will just be acting on impulse. You need a police service that reflects the humanity that we are and the professionalism that is expected of them. The only lapse for me, as I said earlier, IP, is the fact that they retreated and left the accused all to himself, mingling with everybody else. And therefore, again, I want to restate that it should not be shocking that the elements of certain aspects of the interrogation that happened not at police but at the airport found its way into the public domain because it was expected under the circumstances.
Ambassador, let me get to you. Is the Zambia police, or I'm looking for a word, so pardon me. When you look at, I think the history Mike has given, in that HH was equally marketed somehow by the Zambia police. Something which may be deemed to be negative, but HH was heavily marketed by the Zambia police. He has given quite a historical background on how many times he was blocked here and there, how many times he was arrested without any call out. The similar way in the Brian Mundubile case, you know, is Zambia police helping the government, helping HH and the UPND? What is your take?
Before I give my take, I would like to apologize for coming in late.
Right.
This is because my Mercedes-Benz Cabriolet was not working well, so I had to jump on my Toyota Belta. And there's some cablet. Then before I go on that, I love the way you are looking, IP, our host with the most. I love your white shirt and the IP logo. I love the way Yasuchula, the Mbala Mafia, is looking in his swine.
Thank you, sir.
And then PK in his Fugo. I think he's going to Ghana right now.
After the program.
Yes. Having said that, I think that we are coming to that precipice where our democratic credentials are being questioned. The United Nations High Commission for Rights, Amnesty International, the State Department, Law Association of Zambia, they have decried our decrying space in democracy. For me, this story is not about Brian Mundubile.
Yeah.
The story is about how the international world is looking at Zambia, a country that was seen as a last beacon of peace, a budding democracy. Because I saw PK. I met him, he was wearing a mask. So at the beginning, I couldn't even recognize him. You know how health conscious our brother is. Where some of us were just moving in. He was wearing a mask there. He didn't want to catch some meningitis or cholera or whatever in the cells. But the point I'm making is, I was visiting a brother for the second time in less than a month. 3 weeks ago, I was visiting Brother Fred Membe at Chilenje. The charge was that he was humiliating the president by asking that the 6th president of Zambia should be buried as soon as possible. Then just 3 weeks later, we have Honorable Brian Mundubile, the Member of Parliament for Mporokoso, and the legitimate, as we know, leader of the opposition. To me, that was very sad. We got there about 12 o'clock in the morning. I saw my PK was there. I saw lots of people. And we were all just wondering, what is happening? Who is next? Who is next? Is it going to be Innocent Piri? Is it going to be Mike Sichula? Is it going to be, Pastor Kennedy Mamboy? Because the way things are looking, that is one thing that I don't see journalists are doing, that there seems to be a pattern that is growing. To me, this is the way that this story is going. No one is spared. But then also it appears as if there seems to be a selective set of justice. Today I will look in the cameras because you sent me a messages IP where people were saying, no, it seems like you like to talk to your fellow panelists and we don't hear you. Yeah, please look in the camera. I'm looking in the camera. So I'm looking in the camera and I'm saying, is there a deliberate set of justice where Bruce Kanema, the guy from Northwestern Province, said, castrate Edgar Lungu, we are going to castrate him, it's going to hurt so much that his mother will cry? Or is there circumcise? We say, oh, okay, circumcise. We're going to circumcise Edgar Lungu. This is a person who is older than him. We're going to circumcise Edgar Lungu. It's going to hurt more than it hurt when his mother was giving birth to him. And then another guy says, the Archbishop, the Reverend Archbishop, Dr. Alec Banda, is a Satanist and Lucifer. They have not been caught. I hope you can give me a bit of leeway in order to just set this context. Right. So the reason I am saying this is because there is cyber crimes that have been slapped on Honorable Brian Mundubile. So how come the person who called the Archbishop a Satanist has never been arrested, never gotten a call out? How come that Bruce Kanema chap who called for the circumcision of the 6th president of Zambia has never been caught? But Brian Mundubile, the honorable member of parliament from Mporokoso, gets jailed. In fact, they do it extrajudicial without charging him. This is where I start saying, is there a certain set of laws that should be attributed to Kennedy Mamboy?
But he has not been jailed already, Ambassador?
No, he was detained. Let me say detained.
Yes.
Thanks for the moderation. Yes, thanks for the moderation. He was metaphorically jailed. He was detained. He was detained without being charged. For me, the IP, our host, it's a major turnaround to what our president, my cousin, like I keep saying, had said, that when I come into office, we will not detain or jail anybody without a charge. And when we find what the charge is, President Hakainde Hichilema said, we will make sure that you get out of detention on bail or bond. I am glad that this was granted for Honorable Mundubile. But my concern,
as you conclude,
is, as I conclude, yes, I know when you want me to shut up, or as Mapike would say, wash out. Yeah, my concern is that there seems to be a different set of rules that applies to Innocent Piri and what applies to Kanema and what applies to that guy who called the bishop a Satanist. So different strokes for different folks. That really sorts of infuriates people. That
Right.
was bad. But while you were there,
Yeah.
because you had asked me about the police were gracious.
Correct.
And that's how they are supposed to be.
Correct.
When we reached at the gate, I was at the gate. One of them said, "No, wait there. Brother Kennedy Mambo was already inside with yourself." When we reached at the gate, myself with another friend of mine, Sympathy, the police said, "We have to call to make sure that you can go in." The other police said, "No, we're not the ambassador.
Correct.
Just let him go."
Correct.
Yeah, we got in.
Interesting.
And I found PK. I couldn't recognize him because, of course, as usual,
Yeah.
he was wearing his surgical mask so that he doesn't catch any meningitis. So I end there.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Comrade, I would have come back to you, but scene time is not on my side.
It's not
Permit
friendly.
me to cruise right away.
Especially since I've spoken longer than...
You understand.
No problem.
But anyway, let's get into the affairs of the Patriotic Front as well. The PF always, finds itself on our script, on our menu every Sunday. The last 5 years, in the last 4 years of the Patriotic Front, it's been a drama after the other. Now, as of today, we've been told that yesterday they held their intra-party convention. The much awaited, the much anticipated intra-party convention was held last evening on a Saturday, and the winner, according to the information which has been given to the general public through its spokesperson in Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, is that Makebe Zulu has won the presidency of the Patriotic Front. So this simply means that based on the message, again, the statement issued coming from Ambassador Mwamba is that Makebe Zulu now stands as a PF presidency. Let's get into there. PK. That is under the Given Lubinda-led PF faction.
Very interesting development, IP, that one. And I say interesting because there were about 6, I believe, in the final analysis who participated in what is now billed to have been a highly contested PF presidential candidate, convention.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of questions around it. First of all, we can't belabor going into the past. Everyone knows what the past looks like. But we must, first of all, commend the leadership of the PF that everything they've been trying to do, they have been trying to exercise their democratic right and trying to stand on the right side of history so that they are not judged harshly by posterity. But they've been put in a very difficult position. I know for a fact that their delay to even hold this particular convention was premised on the hope that the consent judgment would have been given and the PF handed back to the rightful owners so that as they are going to the convention, they are holding it on the right platform as Patriotic Front. Unfortunately, this matter has still dragged on, which meant that they have been forced to go for a convention even though they are not recognized as the legitimate office holders of the party.
In simpler terms, we say it is an illegal convention.
You can say that.
Yes.
I was trying to avoid the illegality aspect.
I say no, but that's a fact. That's a fact.
So
I be the host with the most.
So they were forced to do what they have done, but which might actually be a wasted effort,
Correct.
if you like, because we do not know what the outcome of the court process is going to be like. All right, even if we do not know the outcome, we at least know that based on the recent court ruling, the person who might legitimately be close to recognition as a lookalike, someone who can be regarded as having some semblance of political power within the control of the PF is Miles Sampa, who was a subject of an illegal convention himself. But the recent court ruling ruled that he had the legitimacy to expel Morgan Ingona, so it sort of rendered him as a legitimate figure to be called president of PF. Unfortunately, in this context of the convention we are discussing, he stayed away.
Correct.
And he said on his page that he would rather wait for the final court ruling. What does that tell you? It tells you that if the person who might be ruled as the legitimate president has stayed away, then you go ahead and have a convention. It follows, therefore, that if the ruling might go the Mao Sampa route, it invalidates the convention that was held yesterday. It means now the legitimate president in Mao Sampa would have to call for a fresh convention. So you wonder what the PF was really trying to achieve in going ahead to hold this convention, later on even announce who the winner is. And we know from what we have been reading, there are people who are close to what happened who have said, look, previously the PF would have a convention of not less than 6,000 delegates. In this, according to the votes that have been published, there was about 370 something delegates that constituted the full electoral college. Although we have seen Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, who is the spokesperson, has disputed that and has said, no, that was just a fraction of the electoral college. So can you publish the full electoral college?
Exactly.
How many delegates were there? I'll give you an example, for instance. Citizens First. President Hari Kalaba held a hybrid conference, physically and virtually. But each province,
well organized,
each district or each province had not less than 500.
I covered that convention.
You covered that convention.
There is something quite organizational about Hari Kalaba, eh?
Yes.
So the way he carries himself and he does his things in order and stuff,
In total, they had, Citizens First had over 8,000 delegates, even though it was both virtual and physical. But the total number of delegates published at the end and participated. In fact, they even involved the
electoral
registrar of society. Was briefed and invited to monitor,
to be an observer,
and they monitored and said this was a very legitimate, process. So to hear that the former ruling party may have had less than 1,000, if we were to be modest, electoral college, raises a lot of questions about the process that Dr. Lawrence Mwelwa has actually raised, the process and the legitimacy of what may have come out. But look, our job is to analyze. But if Council Makebi Zulu deserves congratulations, please receive your flowers. Council, receive your congratulatory. You were the late entrant. There was the acting president for a long time. There was the veterans of Chimbagambwiri. There were the Mondes, the Chitaruchirufias, who could have overrun Makebi Zulu. But he's a late entrant. He came out with the numbers that he came, which speaks to his personal popularity at his level, and we congratulate him for that. But we needed to still speak to the broader picture of what was happening.
Interesting. Let's hear from Comrade Mike Sichula. I personally, I'll be honest with you, I don't come on TV to massage people's egos. And I'll be blunt to make mention that whatever was happening yesterday, it was illegal. Because, and let me qualify this for people not to get sick. There's a court injunction there's a court order which has ordered the PF or instructed the PF not to hold, not to conduct themselves using the PF brand. So how can educated men and women, seasoned politicians, gather in such a manner for that convention? But again, something unique, gentlemen, you may not have looked at it. If you look at, there's no statement, official statement coming from the PF Secretariat.
Except
In the
from,
name of
Emmanuel.
No, forget about Ambassador Emmanuel. Okay, but for me, they have got a secretariat which is being managed by Mao Sampa, who is, bubbling right now on social media. And when you read, critically and cleverly Mao Sampa's statement, it tells you that the convention which was held yesterday, there was no convention. Read critically what Mao Sampa has written. I hope the director can flash that on the screen. But also the council, Celestine Mkandila, he has not issued a statement. You know why? He's a lawyer. So smartly, he doesn't want, maybe, that is me trying to assume though, he doesn't want to entangle himself and his law practice into the illegalities which happened yesterday. Because the procedure should have been that he should have issued a statement now. Ladies and gentlemen, or countrymen and women, we held a convention yesterday, and the ultimate winner is Makebi Zulu. And that is quiet. Do you think that is by accident? No, he's sharp. The young man is sharp. He knows what he's doing. He's a lawyer. Anyway, that is me trying to take on something.
Trying to tell Yasi Chula what to say.
So Yasi Chula, let me put a disclaimer. Don't say what I'm saying. Do not say what I'm saying. Okay. But for me, I believe that whatever happened yesterday was illegal.
Okay, yeah. Now let me thank you very much for IP for that preamble. But my view in terms of how I look at this issue is historical. I want to give a background to our viewers, because the UPND, when they came into office, they promised Zambians a better way of doing things, not only in government, but even in the way they were going to treat the opposition. If you recall, there was a time, former Vice President, Mr. Dr. Nevas Mumba, he had to meet his supporters in the bush, because the police, I'll call them the PF police, were pursuing him. They didn't want him to meet people.
Yeah.
But do you want a country that is governed like that, where if you want to meet your people, police are always on your throat, but because you want to still meet your people, you go out of your way to go and meet your people in the bush? Certainly, you don't need such a situation. And if our viewers, again, you recall, there was a time musicians, the like of Michael Zulu, Biflo, and I think Wezi.
And that Rastaman who is now a permanent secretary, what's his name?
Yes, Pilato. Pilato, they wanted to... They wanted to...
He doesn't sing anymore, eh?
He does.
He does?
He does, but not full time. But it does.
I'm sorry for interjecting.
It is well. It is
My
well.
apologies.
It was a question.
So they wanted to protest. I've just forgotten why they wanted to protest. But police, the PF police, were pursuing them. But in order to run away from the PF police, what did they do? They went into some bush somewhere, covered, and they took videos of themselves, and these videos were later published.
Yeah.
The UPND at that particular time, they condemned the behavior of the police and the PF. Fast forward to 2026. Why? Yes, I know you have called it illegal, but there's a reason why the police and the PF have conducted themselves in this manner.
Have committed an illegality.
In this manner.
Yes.
PK here spoke about, he didn't want to go into the details of why the PF have reached this stage, because I think the Zambian people know what has been happening to the PF. And also, last week I think we spoke about the confusion that keeps on confusing us. We did speak to that. So the PF reached this position because, and now I'm calling them the UPND police, have been pursuing the PF, not to hold their convention. All the systems of government, talk about Chavinga, who is in an alliance, he has publicly said that if the PF are going to hold whatever thing they're calling convention or whatever, they will be arrested. Yeah. And time is running out for the PF. They had to do something away from the media, away from the police. So in a country that you say must be a democratic country where people should go and meet, so long they have informed the police, I don't think the PF were going to meet in a secret. I don't think this is what the UPND promised the Zambian people. I've given you two scenarios, which the UPND, when they were in opposition, especially President Hakainde Hichilema, condemned, because you cannot have a political party wanting to meet their members. You are pursuing them until they meet in the bush. So the picture that I've given the viewers is the UPND performing better than the PF in terms of freedom of association and freedom of assembly. Yeah. The PF were forced to go into a secret, because even today, I don't know where they held their convention. Was it held in Zambia or was it held in maybe in a bush? We don't know. But I think even the PF members themselves and their supporters, they deserve to know where this convention was held. Because in a country that you call a democratic state, where rules and laws are supposed to be respected, the PF were not supposed to be forced to hold their convention in a secret. They were supposed to hold their convention in a public place. Police were supposed to be there to provide law and order. So if you are going to tell me that the UPND is performing better, I don't think the UPND is performing better based on the two examples that I've given you. Then lastly, this convention, though illegal in your own terms, IP, is coming at a time when there's a human rights report on Zambia that has categorized the brutal way of how the UPND has been governing the nation in terms of freedom of speech, freedom of association, and so on and so forth. Now, that report is there, cataloging a lot of injustices or a lot of bad things. Let me say a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things, right? Now, let's add the recent development of Brian Mundubile, a political party being denied an opportunity to hold a free convention because police are pursuing them. I don't think these are records you want to add to a human rights report that has catalogued a lot of bad things happening in this country.
Right.
Excuse me.
Ambassador, I'll give you 2 minutes as well. You can have your say regarding...
I will actually just get 1 minute of your time, IP, because you know when intelligent people like Pastor Kennedy Mambwe and the speech analysts have spoken, it's really hard to try and speak more on that. Right. Yeah, at the expense of sounding monotonous. Right. I would just like to repeat what I said on the analysis last Sunday evening, when I said that maybe the guy who needs a feather on his cap, a pat on his back, is the Mporokoso member of Parliament, Honorable Brian Mundubile, who saw that this thing called the Patriotic Front ain't going nowhere. And he said, I'm not going to be part of this noise anymore. I will think with other like-minded people so that we can ensure that we get on the ballot, because it appears clear that there is a hidden hand of God in ensuring that PF will not be on the ballot paper. And I will also like to pat myself on the back when Pastor Kennedy Mambwe said, I know Ambassador is usually right on these issues, and I'm right again, thanks to the pastor, that this PF issue ain't going nowhere. yes, it's time to come together the way I saw Honorable Given Lubinda, Honorable Makebi, and others come through to the Ibex police station. I think that is the solution.
One little
yes, you know, all this other stuff, I really don't have the wisdom to discuss it, really.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just about what is the right thing, looking at the length of the time.
Right.
In May, which is about a month or two before Parliament is dissolved. And
Correct.
that particular time, when we are supposed to have nominations for members of Parliament and for the President, this is not the time to hold an illegal convention. I mean, who is that? You have that guy, that chap, what do you call him? Chabinga. Yeah, he's
That is not
already...
a chap.
Yeah.
Call him that man.
Well, you can call him the
A
man.
member of parliament.
Yeah,
Yes.
a chap, you can... Yeah, that chap who is a member of Parliament.
No.
Yeah.
I want to, just for the sake of this interview,
Oh,
call him
well,
a man.
but you can say chap is not an insult.
Yeah,
You
but,
can check it on...
Yeah, we'll
okay,
check
that
later
man.
on, just for the sake of this. Correct.
If you insist.
Thank you, Ambassador.
That man who is a chap.
No. No one deserves to be called a chap.
He did.
Just call him
Yes.
a man, then you proceed.
All right.
Yeah.
So I am saying he has already said he owns the patriotic front until Jesus comes. And there is Miles, you were saying in your preamble,
Yeah.
Honorable Miles Sampa, who said, I've heard that there is a convention going on.
Exactly.
You were referring to his post
Yeah.
on his official Facebook page. So you see, it appears like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
It's happening.
And I actually don't want to even discuss this matter. It's
That's why I
tiring.
called it Manyengwe. Let's hear from PK. I'll
Indeed.
grab a minute from you, then PK.
No, you can get my other minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
PK, you're closing.
It's just my little closing remark
Right.
on this matter, so we move to the next story.
Yeah.
I'll give two analogies quickly. I used to catch fish with my grandfather when I was a boy
I see.
in Chinsali. There is what is called the Chambeshi Plains, you know Chambeshi River?
Yes.
So when it is full, the water now goes into the plains, and with it, the fish leaves the river
Right.
into the plains, and in the plains, it will do the eggs,
Right.
and the eggs will hatch, and there will be a lot of fish in the plains, about knee height.
Okay.
So we would dig a little canal,
Right.
and in the canal, the size of this, we would put what we call a fishing basket.
I think Wapige, this will sound better if you say it in Bemba from Chesali. Can you explain it to us?
Don't worry, I'm coming
Nale
there.
Sabi, Never fiash.
You are taking away my 1 minute.
Proceed, PK. I want to hear the landing.
So we would put the fishing basket there against the current.
Right.
So the fish will be happy swimming in the current, knowing that it's going wherever it has to go, not knowing that it has actually already entered the fishing.
The trap.
Okay? And we would tie at the end of this basket, we call it umono. Most people who understand Hichilema, the fishing basket is called umono. So the fish would be thinking it's swimming. Oh no, but both the big and the young
The small
fish,
ones, yeah.
they will just be now there. We'll go home, sleep, and in the morning, go and you lift the fish. There is the basket. There is so much fish,
My God.
which will take and go and fry and eat and sell. I have used that analogy to say this. The PF by now should have known that where they are swimming, actually, they are swimming into a trap. And unfortunately, they have been so caught up in this trap that they are ready for a frying pan. Whoever designed this confusion in PF,
The architect.
the architect knew that there is a
Remember you
market for
mentioned the
this
architect.
fish. There is a market for this
And
fish.
the fish will not see no matter what.
The fish will not see until it has been eaten. And I didn't expect the PF to be so blinded by ego
And accompanied by arrogance.
And
sometimes.
arrogance that they can't see that they're swimming into a fishing trap.
Oh my God.
And my last
now I see your story.
My last little sense around this is when you hear that the bridge on this road, we're talking about the road on the Copper Belt that collapsed. Eh?
Yes.
When you hear that a bridge has collapsed, they construct what they call a bypass, so that you can move from this end to your intended destination.
You can bypass the bridge.
You can bypass the bridge and still go to your destination. To have the PF be on this side of a collapsed political bridge and still hope that they will reach a destination without allowing themselves to, arise to this possibility of a bypass. And they still hope that come August 2026, 13th
August 2026.
Yes.
5 months from now.
They will reach their destination.
Yes.
It is such a fallacy. They're daydreaming and they are running out of time. I recommend the bypass, and the bypasses are many for them to reach the destination. There is a bridge that has collapsed in front of them. They cannot insist to drive across this river. It is impossible. It will not happen.
They will die.
They will die as fish in that trap, or they will be on this side of, they will be saying, oh, you've seen they are celebrating across the river on August 13. We should have been the ones celebrating. Sembendise. The bridge has collapsed. You refuse to do a bypass.
Wow, that was quite deep, though. That was quite deep indeed.
I didn't know. Anyway, that's why he's a pastor, you know. But I didn't. I mean, it was like Jesus telling a parable, you know.
Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly. But anyway, let's move on, gentlemen. One thing I know for sure that a lot of stakeholders, and including those who participated in the said PF illegal convention, as I've said it, they are burning right now. And sooner or later, PK, Ambassador, speech analysts and the viewers, you will be able to hear the confusion which is going on in the PF right now. And you come and tell me. But let's move on to the ruling party, the UPND as well, another political party which seemed to be failing to put its house in order in line with the convention, which again some members are demanding for the convention. And we've got a UPND member in Lilongwe who is who has decided to sue the UPND SG and the entire party in the course of law, demanding for a convention. We get into that again. Comrade speech analyst from the PF drama, now in the ruling party, which is supposed to provide direction.
This is a very interesting phase that we have reached, because...
Or maybe, sorry, comrade, permit me to play a few videos of the UPND. I think from inception, we've had leaders, of course, in the UPND, especially when they were in the opposition, they really demanded that to comply with the rule of law, you ensure that your political party, exercise internal democracy. And they will play some clips here of Honorable Mwetwa, my older brother, and of course my friend. But of course, we'll also play some other clip of some members in the UPND. Let's have these 3 clips.
UPND does not call it a convention, it's called the General Assembly. So we have to contextualize as we are writing news. It's not a convention, but a General Assembly. It's done differently. Now, as many of you may have read in the Constitution of Zambia, Article 60, Sub-Article 2D, the Constitution is very instructive. It talks about regular intra-party elections. There is no term put to it. The reason the Constitution of Zambia has been drafted in that manner is because different political parties have different constitutions. Others have what they consider to be the convention after 7 years. Some with 3 years. Others is 5 years. So get it clearly that the UPND convention is not tied to the general election of this country. In the UPND, this General Assembly takes place even after 5 years. It can also be deferred by the highest governing organ called the National Management Committee. So it should be made very clear, colleagues, that there is no breach of the party constitution and later on the Zambian constitution. You can go and read. It talks about regular elections. So those that are gullible and do not want information, believe it must take place before the general election. The two things that I refer to, which is the nomination of the presidential candidate and the convention of the party, are two different things altogether. So I think I've made it very clear.
The Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, has led the way in preparations for the upcoming presidential and general elections set for 12th August 2021, as it has become the first political party to hold its general conference, an assembly held on 14th February 2021.
Having analyzed the constitutional provisions of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, which require that for a party to go into the general elections and participate, it is mandatory through the Constitution that you must hold a convention.
In the UPND, this General Assembly takes place every after 5 years. It can also be deferred by the highest governing organ called the National Management Committee.
It is mandatory through the Constitution that you must hold a convention. A convention entails elections. Elections imply casting of votes and ballots.
An assembly held on 14th February 2021.
In the UPND, this General Assembly takes place every after 5 years. The UPND convention is not tied to the general election of this country.
So the Constitution is clear. It is now a legal requirement or prerequisite that before going to the general elections, you must hold a convention.
We are going to a general election in 2026, and all political parties that have not been to their elections processes into the General Assembly are required to, by law, to have elections. And so these appointments are appointments that are protected by the Constitution of UPND to begin with. And I'm trying to be preemptive. Someone may come and say, what does this mean for the General Assembly? The whole country, the whole party of UPND will have to have elections before the next election, just like all other political parties. We are not exempt to that. And so I wanted to allay fears that these restructurings that have started in Northwestern Province, like my SG has said, the Northern Province, the Luapula Province. I'm sure you are all aware that there was some changes that were made in Luapula Province, in Muchinga Province, and anywhere else where changes are due, we will make the changes. And so this is to just comfort our members in general that UPND has become a very large party with a number of political people coming to join, either in form of an alliance or in form of outright joining. And part of this process is to make sure that there's accommodation for everybody who brings value to the table when the time comes for us to fulfill the constitutional requirement of having a General Assembly.
I'll quote, Mr. Speaker, Article 60 of our Constitution, what it says, and we shall see which parties are abrogating the Constitution and which one are obeying the Constitution. Article 61C of the Zambian Constitution says, political parties shall conduct primary elections for the selection of candidates. Article 62 BCD says, political parties who have a national character, 1, they will promote and uphold national unity. 2, they will promote and practice democracy through regular, free and fair elections within the party. That English is very simple even for a grade 1 to understand. If you don't conduct elections within your party, who are you to come and lecture us about democracy? You should find people who are like you, dictators who are like you, where you just sit around the dinner table, start allocating positions. One position to the uncle, the other to the cousin, the other to the brother-in-law, the other one to the polygamist. That's not what we do.
What we are crying for here in Eastern Province, we want interparty. Why are we crying for interparty? At the moment, to tell you the truth, my president, to tell you the truth, my SG, Chipani kuno kumava, kulibe. reason why Chipani kuno kulibe, why am I saying so? As a platoon commander, former provincial youth chairman administration, when you impose leaders to people, just know that now, wajabantu wamene musogolera sibaza kondwera na imwe. That's why Chipani kuno kumaba chamba kuenda pansi. But me as a die-hard wa UPND, isetinari kumenyera ufuru kuti uoneke imwe ba president munkale ku State House, imwe ba SG munkale hapo pamene muli. It was our effort. No wonder why I was nicknamed as the platoon commander Eastern Province. So chini babangako kuti Chipani sichienda bwino. Now what we want for president TVSSN, we want interparty so that people they can choose their own leaders. It's not good. But President, my appeal, take note. It's not good to impose leadership to people. It's not right. Where is our democracy? And we have been talking about democracy. So now, tifuna ufulu. Bantu wasanke, ma leaders wamene wafuna. Koma, wa President, na wa SG, nga simuzamvera kulira kwa ise bantu. Nishikuno Chipani, taononga. Then, wa President Vesasani, ise vana vanu. No wonder why tilipano kulira kwa imwe ndimwe makoro yatu nga mufuna wa president mutumire mamfumu bazami uzani Chipani kuno kumaba munasokoneza pamene munachita impose ma leadership.
All right, beautiful. Begin from there.
Yeah, it's interesting to you referred to the video of Honorable Mwetwa.
Yeah.
And from the video that you have shared with us and our viewers there, it is clear Mr. Mwetwa was busy encouraging his enemies to prepare for war in 2026. And this war is about making sure that your arsenals are put in order.
Yeah.
And one of the arsenals that opposition political parties needed to have, according to Mr. Mwetwa, in that video, was that political parties should hold their conventions before 2026.
Yes.
And he also concluded by saying that even the UPND are not exempted from holding a convention before the 2026 general elections. Well, I think by the time Mr. Mwetwa was speaking to the media, he thought 2026 was afar off. But 2026 August is just 5 months from now. And as we have been told by a patriotic Zambian in the name of Mr. Longwe, the UPND term of office for President Hakainde, Hichilema, and all the, what do they call them? Management?
Yeah.
The
National Management Committee.
National Management Committee members, their term of office expired last month in February. So they need to go for a convention so that they elect new office bearers. Now, the issue that we have in Zambia, we always speak about a one-party state. We always refer to that as a one-party state, where you say, in simple terms, we are going to mean it's a nation that is governed by one-party state. There are no any other political parties. But there is also a system that is silent in Zambia, where it is a one-man state. One-man state meaning the president. The president has the key to everything in this country.
Right.
The UPND has failed to hold their convention because President Hakainde Hichilema, the current president of the UPND, to be diplomatic, but on paper, his mandate expired in February. So we can say he's outgoing if we want.
Yeah.
To me, it seems the political advisor to the president, they have not given this as a priority to say, let's go for a convention as the UPND. It's not a priority. So this is why I'm saying there's a one-man system. If the president decides to do something, then all systems are going to go that direction. But I don't think we need such a system in the country, and we don't also need such a system in the opposition political parties.
Right.
I'll give another example. if you look at Dr. Nevas Mumba, Nevas Mumba has been at the helm of the MMD for the last 10 years. For the last 10 years. Because he wants to continue as the MMD president. What has he done? They have changed the name of the MMD to New Nation.
The grand design.
So you see, so
the architect.
That sounds fresh.
Yeah, so it sounds fresh. So the issue there is one man system. Dr. Mumba is deciding to say, I want to continue perpetually as the MMD president or as a leader of this political party. So they have changed the system so that he remains in office.
Fresh mandate.
Fresh mandate. But we don't need such a system in a democratic society. So the UPND, they have not given it a priority, not by design, not that the Secretary General, they didn't know what they are doing, but the president there, he knows what he's doing, and he looks at it to say, I'm above, I can do whatever I want. That is a very sad state of affairs.
Right.
Why is it sad? It is sad because even the learned people in the UPND, they have remained quiet, only for Mr. Longwe to come out
a mayor member
and says what the UPND is doing is bad.
Wow.
We don't need such a system.
Right.
But you know what? There's a you know why they are also not, the President HH is not responding as Zambians expecting. The person who emerges as the vice president of the UPND, automatically this person will become a front runner in 2031. So the issue is, if that person is not in good standing, or the President HH does not like him or believe in him, then you create a problem ahead.
But he can also just call for a sham convention as well, strategically, tell the people, you are my praise singers, just say yes to me. Then you move on like that, provided you document everything that we have held the convention. All these things, I've seen them happening, where one will tell you that he or she has gone and opposed. Then I ask myself, what drama is that? Do you think in the entire political party, no one has got presidential ambitions?
So,
but anyway, I'll leave it there.
So, okay, because the topic that we are on is also similar to another topic that I've seen on your script.
Right. So I'll come back to it. Yes, I'll still come back to you. PK, your quick take. When you listen to Honorable Garing Kombo speaking to the convention in that clip, the emphasis on the need for the UPND to hold a convention, that was early within this time frame of the UPND. Again, when you listen to Honorable Mwetwa, it speaks to something else again, the passion he had over these intra-party conventions. But lo and behold, when you listen to my comrade Max Moe as well, who seemed not to be sure what he was talking about, the contradiction, biting his tongue, trying to make a point, but in the end, messing up everything. He says, no, the UPND has got the powers to postpone the General Assembly, as it were. And when you listen to Garing Kombo, Mwetwa, he said the UPND are also mandated by the same constitution.
So, actually, before I talk about the sentiments by Honorable Garing Kombo, I will speak to the submissions by the President in opposition,
right,
and Honorable Mwetwa in opposition. 2021 preparing for elections. In 2021, January, and I hope the director could show some screenshots of the president's writing on his personal page. Yeah. He said, I have done my nominations for our convention next month in February, as we prepare for the August elections. This is in 2021. Yes. And he says this is in conformity with the law, Article 60 of the Republican Constitution, that requires every political party before elections to hold intra-party election and elect legitimate officer holders. And he, bragged about that. In 2021 January, I think the director could show the...
Prior to the elections of
Prior
2021.
to the election of 2021. Equally, the spokesperson of UPND, Honorable
Cornelius
Mwetwa, also talked about the fact that the party was going for a convention in the run-up to the upcoming elections in August 20.
They also threatened to sue the PF because they suspected that the PF had held a sham convention.
All right. So with that kind of a background, they recognize the provisions of the law while in opposition. What has changed now that they are in power? Has Article 60 changed? Has their own constitution as the UPND, which they amended and requiring to have conventions instead of 3 years to now 5 years. So from the last convention they held in February in 2021, their tenure of office lapsed on the 13th of February this year. Therefore, Mr. Longwe is very firm, both relying on the provisions of the UPND constitution as well as the provisions of the Zambian constitution, Article 60. He is very firm. He's on terra
firma.
Yes, he is on firm ground to take this matter to court, because you cannot recognize the constitution of a party and the constitution of the nation only when you are in opposition. But when you are in power, you say we can postpone. No, you cannot postpone the prescription of the law. That is the illegality we are talking about. So the implication, and this is what I want the viewers to understand, the implication of what Mr. Longwe has done is to actually put a lot of pressure on our judicial system to see if they can demonstrate their independence, impartiality, transparency and autonomy,
as well as speed.
And speed. So let me speak to the speed issue. This is the judiciary that has dragged the PF case for over 4 years now. They've never brought it to a successful conclusion.
Want an attorney general's
Now you have a party that is in power with 2 months to nominations, and they've been sued. How fast is the judiciary going to adjudicate on a matter that affects the ruling party that they've not applied the same speed on a matter that affects a former ruling party? We will see whether the judiciary is really an independent judiciary or it is under capture by the ruling party.
Will it force the ruling party to go for a convention?
But even when it forces the ruling party to go for a convention, there is a problem there, IP. The people who are supposed to go to a convention as the electoral college are not there because they were supposed to have been elected so that they can now form a valid electoral college. In other words, even the person who is supposed to sign an adoption certificate for the members of parliament and the president of the party
is not there.
They are not there legally, they are illegal. So by the electoral...
Unless they decide to break the law.
By the rules of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, only a legitimate Secretary General should be able to sign an adoption certificate. But Mr. Imenda is in office illegally, so he does not qualify to sign any adoption certificate.
That's according to Mr. Longwe.
President Hichilema does not qualify to sign
Unless
an adoption certificate.
Someone,
unless they are given fresh mandate.
And that is according to Mr. Longwe's
yes,
argument.
That's Mr. Longwe's argument. And his argument actually becomes even stronger, that before you hold the national convention, you should have district elections, provincial elections.
What they call primary elections.
Primaries. Now, those are the ones that form now the delegates to the national convention. So even the people who should come to the convention are also illegal because they have not elected new office bearers. So UPND, from top to bottom, they are practicing illegality.
Wow.
You have to love the analysis.
You have to. Ambassador,
I want you
to close on this.
I will close on this. And like I said, when much better people than you have spoken is very difficult to do. So I will repeat what I said last Sunday evening, that from the Bible quote, that to those whom God has given plenty, much is also required from them. And then I will say that, you know, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. What's good for the goose must be good for the gander. So the standards are much higher for the ruling UPND in office, in ensuring that there is governance, there is transparency, and there is no corruption in the governance of all things, compared to whether it's with the Patriotic Front or with the FDD or with the Tonse Alliance. So all I am asking, you know, is I'm actually disappointed. Brother Cornelius Mwetwa, a friend of mine and my neighbor, we live on the same street. You know, he said that the people who are calling for a convention, I read the story. He said they are goons.
They are goons.
Yes, you know, I mean, hired goons or guns and that kind of thing. I just want Brother Cornelius. No, I should be, because myself, PK, Yasichula, the Mbala Mafia there, and yourself, we are saying that we expect higher standards from the ruling party than we expect from anybody else.
Lead by example.
Yes, you should lead by example. And you know what the pastor did here, IP? He gave us a road back into history, pre-2021, August 12, where the current government was saying you have to do this, you have to walk this lane. But now it appears they don't want to.
They've abandoned that path.
Yes. What is happening? You know, it just appears that there seems to be an asymmetrical way in which things are moving. For instance, they said when we come in, we shall reduce the price of mealie meal from 100 kwacha to 50 kwacha, but it went up to 350 kwacha. 400 kwacha. They said we are going to move the prices of petrol from 50 kwacha to 17 kwacha. Now we have it at about 70. It just appears that everything that they say would be happening. I know we are talking about a convention, but I just want to ask, Brother Cornelius, you are the chief spokesperson of the government. You are the minister of information. Or are you the minister of misinformation? You know, you are the minister of information. And I trust you a lot. You are both a lawyer and a teacher, but you don't seem to be getting your game right. And the police officer, you know, or maybe we should use your language. We have to calibrate. We have to perambulate, you know, and when we do the metamorphosis.
That's you speaking as a cousin?
That is me speaking as a cousin to a cousin who speaks these big words which mean nothing. You know, totally nothing. So I am challenging you, cousin. Come over and tell us whether you are going to have a convention or not. You called for it when you were in the opposition. Why are you calling the ones that are saying that you got to have a convention hired guns? Are you calibrating? Are you metamorphosizing? Come here and tell us what you are perambulating. You know?
That is to say.
No, that is to say.
The ruling party.
The ruling party. And I am speaking on behalf of the president and KBN TV. Are liars. KBN TV, are they here? They are liars. Come and call us liars in our face.
No,
why are you scared of holding a convention?
Leave my best friend.
That's what democracy.
Leave my best friend.
He's my cousin. I've known him for like what? 20,
But here you're
30
on,
years.
Here you're on official duties.
Here I'm on official duties, so I'm just metamorphosizing.
For me, he's my older brother and a very good friend of mine. All right,
Brother,
thank you so much, Ambassador.
come here and tell us.
Okay.
You are looking right now. You know. We know you are watching.
No, I
you
agree
watch
with
us.
you, Ambassador. I
Yes.
agree with you. Let's move on now. We'll look at, I think, 2 stories before we wind up. And I will try, by all means, dear viewers, to quickly cruise because time is not on our side. But let's look at this interesting story as well, where it says would have lost elections if Bill 7 did not go through. That's according to President Hakainde Hichilema. Quickly, PK, have your bite there, and then I want to throw another topic to Mike Sichula. To manage my time very well.
IP, that is a very troubling statement
Scary,
by the head of state.
Oh my God.
The assumption from that statement by the president is that the elections have already been held, declared,
won,
and the UPND has won. They are in their second term of office. Because how can the president say, if we did not win Bill 7, we would have lost the elections? Where is the correlation? Mr. President, have you won the elections already? Have you completed the scheming of what you call the Mingalato? Because really, you have left us as citizens wondering what you meant. Maybe your spokesperson, specialist at State House may need to give clarity to what you meant when you said to the Zambian people that we would have lost the elections in 2026 if we had lost.
And has he won already?
Have you won the elections? Please educate us, because we are confused. We don't know what you meant. We don't know the veiled meaning of that statement. And it is very, very troubling. What do you mean, Mr. President? Can someone from your office explain what you meant?
Simplify the statement. That's what the analysis is saying this evening, that there's need for the president or State House to simplify further or add much more context to what the president talked about, because this may worry many Zambians ahead of the elections coming up this year. Comrade Mike Sichula, I want you to comment on the declaration over the 24/7 economy for Zambia. This was announced by Minister of Information and Media, who is also the Chief Government Spokesperson, Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa in Hichilema, Southern Province.
Well, it looks to be a progressive policy. However, I also want to ride on what Mr. Hichilema said, the president of Citizen First, because according to him, and I agree with his position, we needed to have this implemented in a phased approach system, so that once it works, for instance, in Lusaka or in Livingstone or the Copper Belt, then we can pilot it in different parts of the country. However, it is not a forcing matter, because as I speak today, we have got filling stations that operate 24 hours. Most of our government hospitals operate 24 hours. When you go to intercity bus stations, it's most 24 hours as well. They are operating. So a phased approach, in the sense that one of the key issues that support the implementation of the 24 hours economy is the provision of security. Security where the police, you need to have more numbers, because the current system or the current population of the Zambia police against the communities or the 20 million Zambians, the ratio is too wide. It needs to be reduced, so that the one police is able to man a certain number of people. So the ratio needs to come into international standards. As we speak now, the population of our police is not is less than the Zambian population. So that is one of the key issues that we need to implement. However, this policy, one of the interventions that will support this policy is the improved surveillance system That was already left in place by the PF administration. We now have what we call, should be the National Call Center or the National Surveillance System. It is a very powerful system that is there. So again, that being in place, it means we can support the system. However, one of the issues again that we need to address as a country is the debt, domestic debt and foreign debt. On the foreign debt aspect, the Zambian government seems to be doing fine in terms of debt postponement, as Ambassador calls it. We are managing that one. But there's one thing that we are not managing as a country, because for a 24 hours economy, you need a lot of money in the money should be in the circulation. This is why you are going to see people trade as long as they want to. But presently, we have a problem where the domestic debt or debt that the Zambian government is owing to local suppliers and contractors is too huge. We're talking about 12 billion. But someone would argue to say, where have you gotten this figure? So I'll narrow it down a bit. When you go to, I came across something, when you go to the Ministry of Community Development, this Ministry of Community Development is a very key ministry in terms of poverty reduction in this country. But presently, there were suppliers that supplied agro inputs to the ministry. They supplied fertilizer, they supplied seeds, others supplied through the Ministry of Agriculture. These suppliers are the ones who have remained unpaid. If I give the current details that I got presently, it's about 30% being paid, 70% they have not been paid. You, the other time, you spoke about a farmer who supplied maize to the FRA in 2024. He sold in 2025. He was paid in 2026. Now, these farmers got their money after struggling. But who supplied the fertilizer and the imports? It is the local agro dealers and the local suppliers who provided transport. Now, you can imagine, they have not been paid for a long period of time. So meaning, even if we are going to say this economy begins to run, other people will not see the benefit because they don't have money. The government is holding on to their money. How will they want to go into a 24-hour economy if they have not received their money from the government who they have supplied inputs? So we need to have the government needs to strike a balance in terms of providing security, a balance to ensure that the local suppliers that are supposed to plow back the money into the community, they have received their finances. There, even a company, IP, is going to be able to say, okay, now I think we've gotten our money from government, we can employ more people, we can expand in terms of so that we have shifts, but if you don't have the money, it will be very difficult to implement this policy.
All right, we'll share a minute each. PK, quickly, I want you to handle the killing or the killed woman in Kalumbila over claims or allegations of missing private parts.
This is a second story on missing parts. I remember our PK wanted to talk about missing parts from Chingola last week. You know, I couldn't first figure it out when he was saying Chingola, let's talk. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So until I went home, I was like, what's happening with the missing
story
parts?
Here? It's a sad story.
Let me not take the breath.
Yeah, it's a very traumatic story. It's a very sad story, believe me.
And I see the pastor likes this story.
No, but I'll tell you one thing. Even me as a journalist, I mean, we have no option when it's such stories. These are human stories in the media.
They're human interest.
And when they come in, we have no option but to provide direction.
No, I agree with you, especially when we have people in jail because they were supposed to be bewitching the president. I mean, we made it on BBC, but the president doesn't believe in witchcraft. And yet we have some people who came in to bewitch him.
You know?
Is there such a story, right?
Yeah. But, PK, something to worry about.
No, this is something to worry about. First of all, yes, as you said, there was a story last week in Chingola where a man was beaten and arrested, taken to the police on allegations that when he touches your shoulder,
then
your your sexual organs as a man.
That's what they call it, the ujen.
Disappears. Biological organs disappear.
Mere beliefs.
Now, what is interesting is that the Chingola story, when they inspected all three men who had claimed that
they lost their ujen,
there was evaporation.
And there was
when the police did the inspection, they found that there was a reinstatement.
They still had their ujen.
Of the private part.
Of the private part.
Wow.
So the question is, does it mean that these guys lied, or there was some level of magic? Because you see, the police have no means to prosecute witchcraft.
Unfortunately.
So. Unfortunately. So even if there was a disappearance, and then by magical power, again of witchcraft, those things are reinstated, the police will say, you are lying to the state. So the truth of the matter, as far as the Chingola incident was concerned, is when the police inspected, they found everything was intact.
What everything, Pastor?
The arsenal.
The arsenal was intact.
On all three men. And so they released the accused.
Wow.
Now, a few days later, we hear a woman in Kalumbila,
Northwestern,
has died at the mercy or at the hands of a mob on similar accusations. And you begin to wonder, is this a new wave of witchcraft? And also the woman,
where arsenals are disappearing.
The woman who died, do we still have a complainant who can testify and we can go and inspect and fume him that he doesn't have the arsenal?
That's a tricky story.
It's a very tricky story, but it is
not only to us in the media, but also the police,
society as well,
judges.
Yes. Unfortunately, a life has been lost. Yeah. So please, members of the public, let's avoid mob justice. Yeah. These are issues that you leave to the law enforcement agencies. If you have a complaint, you know, and some things are misplaced,
arsenals.
Yeah. Go to the right places. Don't kill a life.
No.
Please, do not. It
just
is
over
outside.
arsenals.
It's outside
our culture.
Your culture, your jurisdiction, your power, authority. No, let's not do that.
Engage.
Ambassador, again, I want you to answer, or rather give clarity and also caution to Zambians and the people of Africa and the world in general regarding the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. Well, of course, we have seen that maybe there could be some ripple effects along the way as a result of this war, which is ongoing. Can you lecture us, Ambassador? What should we worry about?
IP, I won't even lecture you. I'll just talk to you. You are my brother, and you are the host with the most. But before I go to the U.S. Israel military operation, they're not calling it a war.
Yeah.
Even if you Google, can you imagine that they're telling you, Google will tell you, no, it's not a war. There is no war. It's a military operation. So now I don't understand. Okay, but those are semantics. But before we go there, I am seeking your authority.
Right.
I am very concerned about the arrest of Brother Brian Mundubile. With your permission, the reason
I'm afraid we are getting to another programming.
Into another programming.
Yeah, so I wanted to handle this.
Okay, I will just go back to this. The reason I wanted to say about Brother Mundubile is I just wanted to say, who next? Is it IP or PK or Sichula who can be detained without being charged? Are we getting on the travesty? Next week. Yes. So, but what is happening in the West Asia? The Western media like to call it the Middle East is pretty bad. It's now gonna affect us. Last time when we were here on Sunday evening, I spoke about the fact that we will be affected at the pump station and in ShopRite and Pick and Pay and Cheers because our minimum prices will go up. But now, what I have sadly learned is it's going to get worse because we're also going to have a problem with fertilizer. Fertilizer prices are going to skyrocket. Yes. Yeah, that is something that we haven't made. So that means food prices shall be rising. But what is the worst thing, the sad thing, is the fact that, recently when we were asked to vote on the war, which they are saying is not a war, Zambia voted against Iran. They voted with the United States of America and other people that I thought it was crazy. I mean, I'm a former ambassador. I studied international relations as my second master's degree, and I thought we were supposed to be non-aligned. And you know, when I saw Zambia taking this crazy vote, I was like, what the hell is going on? I mean, look at the fact that, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, all these other countries that are housing the United States of America are getting targeted.
Right.
So I'm saying, could this make us a sitting duck? Right. But that is a bigger context story.
Right.
The simple story of IP,
as you wind up,
I know when you were telling me to shut up. As I wind up via IP, fertilizer prices are going to rise. It's not only fuel prices. It's not only meal prices. Fertilizer prices are going to go up in a short while because we import that stuff. This is why you realize that people like Kenneth Kaunda decided that we should make our own
gene chemicals.
Yeah, nitrogen chemicals and stuff. So this may be bad for the government, but for the opposition it's very good. Because, I mean, if you're going into an election and fuel prices are high and fertilizer prices are high, electricity prices are high, it's a very good thing for the
Should the opposition celebrate the misfortunes of the
country?
country?
They must. There is in strategic commission.
I would say
no, they should. It's a communication strategy thing. You have to milk the crisis.
It's like you're saying, this person is dead, so I'm happy because maybe I might inherit this person.
No. You have to milk the crisis. It's not like you are celebrating the fact that fuel prices are going back. But the job of the opposition is to blame the government in office for failing. Remember our president, my cousin, the President Hakainde Hichilema, says, look, you're telling me that there is no electricity because there is no water. That is nonsense. That is nonsense. In Dubai, there's no drop of rain. He was celebrating that.
Wow.
There's no rain there. And yet they have electricity. Yes. So it's called, in communication strategy, it's called milking the crisis.
Wow.
Yeah, you milk the crisis.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. For me, I would say never celebrate misfortunes of a country. Either you are in the opposition or ruling party, when there's a problem, we have to get worried, all of us as a nation. Checks and balances can be offered, but we must be objective where possible. Of course, objectivity is questionable again.
There's no rain in Dubai.
You know. Thank you so much, PK. Thank you so much, PK, for coming through.
Thank you, IP, and good evening to our dear viewers. Thank you always for your feedback.
Comrade Speech Analyst, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, IP. And I also, just a small thing, something that I think as a church we need to be worried. Remember, we had gassing towards the elections. There was the issue of literal killing, people losing seats, private parts towards the elections. And now we have
private parts.
We have this case again coming, and it is originating from Chingola, and it is spreading. So there are two people that I'm calling upon. We have to call upon the church to pray fervently without ceasing. Then also the police using the past experiences of gassing and the removal of private parts, so that this one, we should arrest it and contain it. Have a blessed evening, our dear viewers.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Thank you so much as well.
Thank you very much. You are ever so sharp, IP. When I grow up, I want to be just like you. Yeah.
Allow me to also thank you, the viewers watching the program. We've come to the end of the analysis. Again, we'll be back next week on Sunday. But tomorrow, Monday, at 09 hours, this particular episode will come in form of a repeat. May God bless Zambia. May God bless Mother Africa. Good night.
Our media house is committed to upholding the highest standards of professional conduct and ethics. As part of our dedication and responsible journalism, we have subscribed to the Code of Ethics established by the Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia, MSCZ. We value your feedback and take any concerns regarding our content or professional behavior seriously. If you feel aggrieved by any aspect of our operations, we encourage you to reach out to the MSCZ Media Ethics and Complaints Committee for assistance and resolution. To lodge a complaint or seek redress, you can contact the MSCZ Ethics and Complaints Committee via email at mselfregulation@gmail.com or by calling the dedicated mobile number for media violations at 260-777-348695. Alternatively, you may also send your complaints in writing to the following address: Chairperson, MSCZ Media Ethics and Complaints Committee, PO Box 32295, Lusaka, Zambia. We appreciate your support in helping us maintain the highest standards of professionalism and integrity in our journalism. MSCZ Media Ethics and Complaints Committee, promoting a professional and ethical media in Zambia.